following is a feature presentation of the Replay Sports Channel, home for the great games. Good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Busch Stadium here in St. Louis, Missouri, where the Fall Classic is renewed. Game 1 of the 1967 World Series between the American League champion, the Boston Red Sox, and the National League champion, the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi again, everyone. Glenn Walker here, high atop the broadcast booth, overlooking a bright, sunny day here in St. Louis. Temperature 71 degrees, a little bit of a light wind coming out of left field. Perfect weather for baseball. What can be said that hasn't been said about these two teams? These were the two teams that faced each other in reality in 1967, though getting here by different means. The Boston Red Sox clinched a little bit earlier than their real-life counterparts did. Have to go back a week or so ago. Boston clinched the American League over such teams as the Detroit Tigers, the California Angels, and the Chicago White Sox. St. Louis, in our replay, had a little bit tougher time. They did not clinch the National League pennant until the Saturday before the final day of the regular season. They were followed along to the pennant by the Philadelphia Phillies, who gave it a great effort, just couldn't get it done out there. They had a three-game road series, or three different road series on the West Coast, and couldn't get it done. So it is the St. Louis Cardinals with the better record heading into today. They come in today with a 99-62 record, just one game shy of 100 victories, versus the 96-66 Boston Red Sox. So by means of the better record, St. Louis opens up to start the series. Games 1 and 2 will be here in St. Louis. Then, of course, the middle part of the series moves on to Fenway Park. So we're going to go through the starting lineups here for you before the first pitch gets underway. Let's take a look at the visiting Boston Red Sox. And that keeps coming up for some reason. I don't know. All right, bear with me. We lost the Boston Red Sox lineup card. Give me 1 second. There they are, the Boston Red Sox, champions of the American League. Last time they won a World Series was 50 years ago, 1917. Adair at second base will lead off. Dalton Jones, third baseman, batting second. Carl Yastrzemski, the winner of the Triple Crown, home runs, runs batted in, and batting average, will be batting third out in left field. Ken Harrelson, right fielder, will be batting cleanup. Scott, the first baseman, batting fifth. Petrocelli, the shortstop, will be batting sixth. Reggie Smith, the center fielder, will be batting seventh. Russ Gibson will be catching today. He'll be batting eighth. And Jose Santiago will be pitching. Santiago, 7-8 record, 5.34 ERA, 27-year-old right-hander, gets the start of Game 1. Jim Lonborg will be starting Game 2, give him another day of rest after finishing out the regular season against the Minnesota Twins. Let's take a look at the National League champion St. Louis Cardinals. And that did it again. I don't know why that keeps doing that. I am so sorry, folks. Let's take a look at the St. Louis Cardinals starting lineup. There they are. 99-62, best record in baseball, and a great lineup here. Left fielder Lou Brock, the stolen base king of baseball, will get us started at first at bat. Curt Flood, center fielder, will be batting second. Roger Maris, the right fielder, batting third. Orlando Cepeda, the first baseman, will be batting cleanup. And the catcher, Tim McCarver, batting fifth. Third baseman, Mike Shannon, batting sixth. Julian Javier, second baseman, will be batting seventh. Dale Maxwell, the shortstop, will be batting eighth. And Bob Gibson will be batting ninth. Bob Gibson, 10-7 record, 2.47 ERA. 32-year-old right-hander, had part of his season cut short because of the leg injury, so he missed a huge part of the season. But he gets the ball from manager Red Scheindeist to be the Game 1 starting pitcher for the Cardinals. So the Cardinals take to the field. Again, beautiful weather, 71 degrees, slight wind coming out of left field. And we're going to get underway here as Jerry Adair will lead things off. So it'll be a line drive toward Javier. Puts it away for the out. One away. Dalton Jones, the third baseman. I apologize for the not having the stats there for you, batting average and such. We'll get that figured out by game 2. Dalton Jones, third baseman. One out, nobody on. Game 1 of the 1967 World Series. High fly ball towards center field. Flood camps underneath it, makes the grab, 2 away. Up comes Carl Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski, what a season to remember. Triple Crown, wins the batting average, home run, and hits title. 2 away here, top of the first. Another high fly ball towards center field. Flood races to catch it and makes the out. 1, 2, 3 goes the top of the order of the Red Sox. We move to the bottom of the first. Brock, Flood, and Maris are set to hit. Umpire crew for today: Johnny Stevens at home plate, Al Barlick at first, Frank Uman at second, Augie Donatel at third, Ed Runge watching left field, and Paul Pryor in right. Lou Brock to lead off, the stolen base king of the 67 season. Santiago delivers and dials up his first strikeout of the day. Curt Flood. Batting .335 on the season. Right-hander settles in to face Santiago. And Santiago fans the first 2 batters in the St. Louis Cardinal order. And that'll bring up the veteran, Roger Maris. Maris, one of the key acquisitions by Stan Musial, the general manager, prior to the season, in a trade coming over for the Yankees. Batting .261 on the season. This one's a grounder toward short. Petrocelli makes the easy toss over to first. And 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals. So a scoreless first inning. We head to the second. Harrelson, Scott, and Petrocelli will be the batters to face Gibson as we move to the top of the second of the 1967 World Series. Harrelson, the right fielder, batting .200 this season, came over from the Kansas City Athletics during the summer to help bolster the Red Sox lineup. This one's a grounder towards Shannon at third. The toss across the field to Cepeda, 1 away. George Scott, the first baseman, .303 hitter this season. Had some key performances in games versus the Tigers late in the summer that helped keep Boston in the hunt. Detroit led for a long time from late spring through the summer, and then Boston found that gear to take first place and hold on till the end of the season. 1 away, no out, top of the second. Gibson waiting for the sign from McCarver. A grounder gets past the shortstop, and we have our first base hit. George Scott safely on at first. Ball getting past Maxville there. And Brock with the scoop. So Scott safely on, 1 out. Now bring up Rico Petrocelli. Petrocelli, a .259 hitter. 17 home runs, 66 RBIs. Scott taking a lean off first base, followed by Cepeda. So the grounder towards Cepeda is going to go for the double play, and back to Gibson. And we're through an inning and a half. We've had just one hit. We go to the bottom of the second. Cepeda, McCarver, and Shannon are due up. Full house here today at Busch Stadium. Probably we'll see a similar scene at Fenway Park later in the week. We're here today and tomorrow before both teams will travel east to Boston. Orlando Cepeda, 325 hitter, 111 RBIs, 25 home runs. High fly ball to center field. Catch is made by Smith. A bit of a bobble, but he manages to hold on. That could have been a disaster there by Smith. Tim McCarver, the catcher, 295 hitter, lefty, batted in 69 runs. Played a key role in the series versus Atlanta to help the Cardinals clinch the pennant. This one's going to go foul toward the right field side, and it's souvenir ball time for those fans over in the right field stands. Grounder towards Rico Petrocelli. Petrocelli tosses it across the field to get the out. St. Louis heavily favored to win the series. Best record in baseball, 99 wins, 62 losses. Mike Shannon, the third baseman, steps up to the plate. 245 hitter, 77 RBIs, 12 home runs. Santiago delivers. This one's going to be a grounder past the second baseman. Shannon safely on at first. First base hit given up by Santiago tonight. Legend Sports Universe, rooting for Bob Gibson. Thank you so much for attending tonight's game. All of you, those who subscribe or are watching this live, thank you for being part of the Replay Sports channel. The culmination of the 1967 season, this took a couple of years to do. It's through COVID and through a lot of other things, but we got through to the Fall Classic. So kind of interesting. It ended up being both the real teams that ended up in the World Series. Julian Javier steps in. He's facing two outs. Shannon on at first. Javier, ground ball, gets past the third baseman. Shannon is going to hold up at third. So a runner in scoring position, Santiago in his first real jam of the game. And the shortstop, Dale Maxville, to the plate. Maxville hitting .227 on the season, 41 RBIs. Javier at first, Shannon at third. Two away, no score. This one's going to be a grounder. Shannon's going to score from third. Javier advances to third, and Maxville gets an RBI single, and the Cardinals lead 1-0. Javier at third, Maxwell at first, Bob Gibson the pitcher. And Gibson strikes out to end the inning, but damage has been done. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. After 2, the Cardinals take an early lead, 1-0. Bottom of the order coming up for the Red Sox: Smith, Thomas, and Santiago. Game 2 tomorrow. Lonborg versus Hughes are the scheduled starting pitchers for Game 2 here in St. Louis. Reggie Smith, the center fielder, 246 hitter, 61 home runs, 61 RBIs, 15 home runs. That would have been wild. It's a ground ball past the shortstop, and Smith is on at first. So second hit allowed by Gibson and George Thomas. And I had a different player in there at catcher. My mistake. I thought I had Gibson in there. But anyway, George Thomas getting the start at catcher. I have to rectify that one. And Thomas with a base hit. Smith advances to third. And now the Red Sox look to be in a scoring position. Smith at third, Thomas at first. Maybe that was a good thing to pick him to catch today. He gets a single and moves Smith into scoring position. The pitcher, Jose Santiago, is now at the bat, facing Gibson. And Gibson strikes out Santiago for out number 1 here in the top of the third. Top of the order, Jerry Adair to the plate, lined out to second to start the game. The grounder gets past the second baseman. Thomas is going to hold up at second, but the runner scores. Smith scores the first run for Boston, and we have a tie ball game, 1-1. Boston already 4 hits on the day. And Dalton Jones comes up to the plate. Thomas on at second, Adair on at first. Jones flew out to right center his first time up. Jones, 289 hitter, bats left. It's a grounder picked up by Javier. They're going to try to turn 2 here, and they get him in time. So the double play excellently started there by Julian Javier. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. We're through 2.5, and we're tied. Red Sox 1, Cardinals 1. We go to the top of the order for the Cardinals. Brock, Flood, and Maris. The 2 managers of these 2 teams, very different temperament between Red Schoendeist and Dick Williams. Dick Williams in his first season as the head man in Boston, very much the disciplinarian, very much the hard-charging manager. Red Schoendeist, very much a different type of manager managing this team. Lou Brock to the plate. Struck out to start the Cardinals' half of the first inning. This one's a grounder toward third base. Easy toss. No, we didn't get him in time. So Jones's throw arrives a tad late, and the dangerous Lou Brock is on at first. That'll bring up Curt Flood, who struck out. Santiago struck the first 2 batters out to start the game. Brock with a lead off first. He's going to go. The throw from the catcher, it's not in time. Brock gets his first stolen base of the World Series. No outs, bottom of the third. We're tied at 1. This one's going to go foul. Past first base. Flood, a .335 hitter this season. 50 RBIs. This one's a grounder toward first base. Easy toss over to Santiago covering first base. One away, but Lou Brock is now at third. And that brings up Roger Maris, the right fielder. Roger Maris grounded out to short in his first at-bat. One away. A man in scoring position for the Cardinals. And Maris will be walked. Santiago's first walk of the day. So Maris is on at first, Brock on at third, and that'll bring up Orlando Cepeda, the first baseman. Flew out to deep center in the second inning. Both starting pitchers have allowed 4 hits and 1 run so far. This one's a grounder past the second baseman. Maris will hold up at second. Brock scores from third, and the Cardinals take a 2-1 lead. Tim McCarver grounded out to short his last time up. Only 1 out. Cardinals lead 2-1 here. Bottom of the third. And Santiago is in a jam here. Bases are loaded for Mike Shannon. The Cardinals on the season 62-34 versus right-handed pitchers. Won their last 4 games in a row to end the regular season and to help clinch the National League pennant. Shannon singled to center his first time at bat. It's a pop fly. Looks like it'll be easily handled by Petrocelli. 2 away. Runners hold where they're at. And that'll bring up Julian Javier. Javier hit a single between short and third his first time up. High fly ball toward left field or third base. And that will be covered by Jones. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. We're through 3 innings. The Cardinals lead it 2-1. Yastrzemski, Harrelson, and Scott are due up to bat. Just a reminder, Game 2 from St. Louis. In our next broadcast, Jim Lonborg will be pitching for the Red Sox. Dick Hughes will be pitching for the Cardinals. Whenever we go live with a broadcast, if you're a subscriber, you get automatically notified. Football fans out there, haven't forgot you. We're going into Week 9 of our 2022 WFL season. We've got the Duel in the Desert coming up. A great Pacific Division battle between the 7-1 Las Vegas Outlaws. They have the best record in the WFL, taking on their rivals, the Arizona Wranglers. Sunday Night Football in the WFL. Make sure to check that out. Also, those of you that like golf, we are going to begin our series of golf coverage with a tournament in my backyard, the Valspar Championship. We're going to provide final round coverage of that tournament. It's going to be kind of a test drive of golf coverage on the channel here. Hopefully do some more as the season progresses. And basketball fans have not forgot you. The ABA 78 season underway. We've got a great one for you coming up. The Indiana Pacers taking on the expansion Pittsburgh Ironmen will be coming up very, very soon. So don't forget to subscribe. That way you get all the heads up when sports are happening here on the Replay Sports channel. Carl Yastrzemski heads to the plate, flew out to left center his last time up. This is a grounder between first and second base, so Yastrzemski's going to try to stretch it out for a double, and he's called out. Maris with the throw in time, and Yastrzemski is out. And that'll bring up Ken Harrelson. Grounded out to third. Back in the second inning. This one's going to go foul toward the right field seats. Maris stops at the railing to watch it. And Harrelson strikes out. That's Gibson's second strikeout of the day. 2 away, and now I'll bring up George Scott. Grounded a single between third and short in his first at bat. Cardinals lead 2-1. Both teams have made 5 hits. And Gibson starting to get hot as he strikes out his second batter in a row. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We're through 3.5. Cardinals lead 2-1. Maxville, Gibson, and Brock are expected to bat here in the bottom of the 4th. Santiago beginning to struggle a little bit, but yet no sign of activity in the Red Sox bullpen. Dale Maxville, the shortstop, hit a single in the second inning, RBI, which led to Shannon to score and provide the game's first run. This one's going to be a grounder past the first baseman, and Maxville is on at first. And Maxville's coming up a little lame there. I think he tweaked a calf muscle or something as he was running toward first. And just as a precaution, they are going to put in a base runner for Maxville. So Alex Johnson will be deputized to be the base runner. And that means we'll see a new shortstop in for Maxville as he is helped over to the Cardinals dugout. Bob Gibson, the pitcher, struck out in the second inning. And Santiago rings him up again. 4th strikeout of the day for Santiago. 1 away. And top of the order, Lou Brock. 1 for 2 today. Hit a single back in the 3rd inning. This one's a grounder toward Petrocelli. Petrocelli throws, and in time. That was a close call. But Al Barlick, the first base umpire, adamant in his call. Johnson moves to second. He's the pinch runner. Just came in for Maxville, the shortstop. Calf injury. Don't think we're going to see him again the rest of the day. 2 outs. 1 man on second. Flood at bat. Grounded out to first. His last time up. He's 0 for 2 today. And struck out Santiago. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We're through 4 here in the 1967 World Series Game 1. Cardinals lead it 2-1. Petrocelli, Smith, and Thomas are scheduled to be at bat. We're going to get a new shortstop in for the Cardinals. Looks like it's going to be Eddie Brissode. Eddie Brissode will come in at shortstop for the injured Dale Maxville. Rico Petrocelli, the shortstop, grounded out to first into a double play his last time up. This one's going to be dropped in for a single. Maris picks it up, tosses it back in. Both starting pitchers have allowed 6 hits so far. And that'll bring up Reggie Smith. Petrocelli on at first. Smith lined a single between third and short in his first at bat. And Gibson gets him for his fourth strikeout of the afternoon. One away, and that'll bring up George Thomas. Thomas hit a single in his first at bat in the third inning. Grounder toward Javier, toss over to the shortstop. Brissot back over to first. Double play. No runs, one hit, no errors. We're through 4.5. The Cardinals lead Game 1 of the World Series 2-1 over the Red Sox. Maris, Cepeda, and McCarver are due to bat next. Roger Maris will get us started here in the bottom of the fifth inning. He was walked in his second at bat. And Santiago records his sixth strikeout of the day. And that'll bring in Orlando Cepeda. Cepeda 1 for 2. Lined a single up the middle, scoring Brock back in the third inning to give us our current score line of 2-1. High fly ball towards center field, back to the wall. And Cepeda with a double. Tim McCarver, the catcher, was walked his last time up. Cepeda on at second, 1 out. Cardinals have a 2-1 lead here. It's a grounder past the pitcher. Throw to third. Petrocelli with the throw to third, but it's not in time. Cepeda safe at third, McCarver safe at first. And that'll bring up Mike Shannon, third baseman. Popped up just short in his last at bat. 1 away, 2 men on. Shannon at the plate. And Shannon strikes out. Santiago gets his 7th strikeout of the game. 2 away, and that brings up Julian Javier. Javier 1 for 2 tonight, popped out to third, back in the third inning. This will drop in for a base hit into center field. Smith with the catch. No, he makes the catch to end the inning. I thought that had dropped in, but Smith proudly shows the ball to the umpire. And that will be out number 3. So we move to the top of the 6th inning. Boston, 1 run, 6 hits, no errors. They've left 1 man on. St. Louis, 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They've left 8 men on. Santiago, Adair, and Jones are scheduled to bat in this part of the 6th inning. Gibson on the day, 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Has allowed the 1 run. Faces Santiago and walks Santiago. So first walk issued by Gibson is to the Red Sox pitcher, Jose Santiago. And we go to the top of the Boston order, Jerry Adair. 1 for 2 today, hit a single his last time up, third inning. Santiago on at first. This one will drop into right field for a base hit. Santiago advances to second. Adair on at first. Starting to see some activity in the Cardinals bullpen. A couple of pitchers are beginning to warm up there. Dalton Jones, 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded out to second into a double play his last time up. This one's a grounder toward Javier. He's going to go for 2 here. Nope, only get the 1 play to Broussard at second. So only can get the 1 out. Jones safely on at first. Santiago moves over to third. And up steps Carl Yastrzemski. Stage is set for Yaz here to put Boston into the lead. Led the American League in home runs, batting averages, runs batted in. 1 for 2 tonight. Hit a single his last time up in the 4th inning. High pop fly toward first base. Cepeda under it makes the catch. 2 away. Ken Harrelson, the right fielder, 0 for 2 today, struck out his last time up. This one will drop into center field for a base hit. Harrelson will extend it to a double. Run will score. Santiago is the runner who scores, and we're tied up at 2. And Red Shine-Dice is going to come out from the dugout, have a quick word with Bob Gibson, his pitcher. And the Cardinals have plenty to pick from here in their bullpen. Joe Horner might be a possibility. Ron Willis also might be one as well. So they've got Horner and Willis warming up. We'll see if the pep talk helps Gibson here. A 2 out. Tie game now, 2-2. Jones on at third, Harrelson on at second. George Scott struck out his last time up. He's 1 for 2 today. And it worked. Gibson gets the K and gets out of the inning. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. Through 5.5, we're tied. Boston 2, St. Louis 2. Heading to the bottom of the 6th, Broussard, Gibson, and Brock are the scheduled batters. Broussard is first at bat since taking over for the injured Dale Maxfield. This one will drop into center field, and Broussard will stretch it out for a double. 8th hit allowed by Santiago. Bob Gibson, 0 for 2 at the plate. He has struck out both times. And make that a 3rd time. Santiago with his 8th strikeout. 1 away. And that'll bring up the top of the order, Lou Brock. 1 for 3 on the night. High fly ball toward right field. Harrelson goes back to the warning track, makes the catch. Broussard gets the signal to go to third. He's safe. Beats the throw from Harrelson. So runner in scoring position for Curt Flood. 2 out, bottom of the 6th, tied at 2. Flood 0 for 3 tonight. Struck out his last time up. And gets Flood swinging. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We are through 6 innings and we are tied, 2 apiece. Petrocelli, Smith, and Thomas are the expected batters for Boston. Petrocelli, 1 for 2 tonight, hit a single in the 5th inning. Top of the 7th inning. And Gibson gets him looking for strike out number 6. Reggie Smith struck out in the 5th inning. Ground ball toward Shannon at third. Throws across the field to Cepeda in time. 2 away. George Thomas, the catcher. 1 for 2 tonight. A grounder toward Javier. Javier with the easy toss over to first. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Red Sox in the top of the 7th. It's the 7th inning stretch, everybody. Maris, Cepeda, and McCarver are due up here in the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll see how much longer the starting pitchers go. Do see a pitcher warming up for Boston. That's Wyatt. Wyatt is warming up for the Red Sox in the Red Sox bullpen. Maris, 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out his last time up. And this one's a grounder toward the third baseman. Excellent throw by Jones in time. Dalton Jones with the throw gets the out. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Orlando Cepeda. Hit a double off the wall in left center. He's hit 2 for 3 tonight. This one gets past the third baseman. Cepeda on at first. Brings up the catcher, Tim McCarver. 0 for 2 tonight. 1 out. Cepeda on at first. McCarver digs into the batter's box. This one gets past the shortstop. Advances Cepeda to second. McCarver's on at first. And I think that's going to do it for Santiago. Here comes Boston manager Dick Williams. And he's going to ask for the baseball. And that will bring up John Wyatt. John Wyatt will be the new pitcher. .10-7 record during the season, 20 saves, 68 strikeouts, an ERA of 2.60. Scores tied, bottom of the 7th inning, 2-2. 1 out, Cepeda on at second, McCarver at first. Mike Shannon, 1 for 3, struck out his last time up. It's a grounder toward first base, but Scott bobbles the ball, allowing Shannon to get on first, and the bases are loaded. Scott had a difficult time handling the ball there, and Shannon hustled to first base. So Cepeda on at third, McCarver at second, Shannon at first, and that'll bring up Julian Javier. Lined out to center his last time up, 1 for 3 on the day. Our first error of the World Series, unfortunately, goes to George Scott. And this one gets by the catcher. Cepeda will score on the wild pitch, and it's 3-2 Cardinals. Carver moves over to third, Shannon to second. Full count for Julian Javier. This one's going to be a grounder past the second base, and 2 runs score. Javier with a stand-up double. And the Cards lead it 5-2. That'll bring up the shortstop, Eddie Broussard. Hit a double into right center. For those of you just joining us, Dale Maxville injured a calf muscle running to first base. Broussard came in for him about halfway through the contest. And Broussard goes down on strike 3. And that'll bring up the pitcher, Bob Gibson. Hasn't had much success at the batting end tonight. Has struck out 3 times. Gets a hit here, though, in his 4th at-bat. Javier's going to round third, head for home. Gibson with an RBI single, and it's 6-2. And I think Dick Williams has seen enough of John Wyatt. And it looks like he's going to go left-hander here to Bill Landis. So Wyatt's day was very short. And that'll bring in Bill Landis. A 4-run 7th inning here for the Cardinals. They lead it 6-2. Brock, 1 for 4 on the day. High fly ball toward right field. And this one's gone. A 2-run home run for Brock. The floodgates have opened here at Busch Stadium for the Cardinals. The Cardinals now lead 8-2. Brock's home run toward right center. And the Cardinals are dominating Game 1. It's a close game for much of the early part, but they have exploded for 6 runs here in the bottom of the 7th. That'll bring up Curt Flood. 0 for 4 today. 3 of those at-bats have been strikeouts. It's a grounder past the second baseman. Flood's going to try to stretch it out for a double, and he does. The 14th hit by the Cardinals in this game. Game number 1 turning into a nightmare for the Red Sox. Maris back up to bat again. It's the second at bat of the 7th inning. And he strikes out. What an inning for the Cardinals. 6 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. They lead by 6, 8-2 over the Red Sox. Landis is the scheduled batter, but we're going to see a pinch hitter, I believe. Looks like it's going to be Jose Tartabull. Jose Tartabull, the left-handed batter, coming in to pinch hit for Landis. So Landis' day is done. High fly ball toward left field. Brock races to make the catch. 1 away. Jerry Adair, top of the order. 2 for 3 today. Has hit singles his last 2 times up. This one's going to drop into right field for a single. So 9th hit allowed by Gibson in this game. He just threw his 100th pitch. So Adair on at first, 1 out, and that'll bring up Dalton Jones. 0 for 3 today. High fly ball toward left field. Brock toward the wall, makes the catch. Tosses it back to second. Adair's going to hold at first. Carl Yastrzemski, 1 for 3 today. He's the next at bat. Popped out to first his last time up. It's a grounder toward the first baseman. Cepeda's going to have some difficulty with that one. Yastrzemski is on safe at first on an error. So both teams' first basemen have committed an error. Adair moves to second. Yastrzemski on at first. 2 outs. Ken Harrelson, the right fielder, hit a double his last time up. And scored Santiago. Can he do it again? No. Gibson with the strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error. Go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Cardinals lead the Red Sox 8-2. And Bucky Brandon will come in to pitch for the Red Sox. 5-11 record this season, a 4.17 ERA, 96 strikeouts. Orlando Cepeda on the day, 3 for 4, 3 hits. And Brandon gets some swinging. Strikeout number 1 for Brandon. McCarver at bat, 1 of 3. Hit a single his last time up. This one's going to drop into right field for a single. So McCarver, with back-to-back hits, is on safely at first. And that'll bring up Mike Shannon. Shannon, 1 of 4 today. Grounded out to first, but he was safe on an error his last time up. Game number 2 tomorrow. Lonborg will be pitching for the Red Sox. Hughes will be pitching for the Cardinals. High fly ball towards center field. And Smith with the easy catch. 2 away. Julian Javier, 2 for 4 today. Hit a double off left center, scoring McCarver and Shannon last inning. They'll be talking about that 7th inning for a while here in St. Louis. Be a grounder, gets past the second baseman towards center field. McCarver's going to hustle his way to third. Javier's on safe at first. 16 hits allowed by the Red Sox pitching today. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Eddie Broussard. This one gets back to the pitcher. Easy toss over to first. 3 away. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Bob Gibson, 3 outs away from getting a World Series Game 1 win. He'll have to face Scott, Petrocelli, and Smith in that order. George Scott, 1 for 3 on the day. He has struck out his last 2 times at bat. High fly ball to left field. Brock to the wall, makes the catch for out number 1. That'll bring up Rico Petrocelli. 1 for 3. Struck out his last inning. This one's going to drop into center field for a base hit. Petrocelli on safe at first. 10th hit of the game allowed by Gibson. Reggie Smith to the plate. 1 of 3 on the day, grounded out to third in the 7th inning. 1 away, Petrocelli on at first. High fly ball to right field. Maris at the track makes the catch. 2 gone. And that'll bring up George Thomas, the surprise starter at catcher today. I meant to start Russ Gibson, but for some reason George Thomas appeared. George Thomas, 1 for 3. Grounded out to second, his last at bat. Red Sox trying to get something going here in the top of the 9th inning. This one's going to get past the third baseman. And Broussard. Thomas is on at first. Petrocelli moves over to third. And be another time for a pinch hitter. And it'll be Norm Seaburn, backup first baseman. This one's back to Gibson. Easy toss over to first. And the Cardinals take game one of the World Series 8-2. Take a look at the final numbers here. Boston, 2 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. St. Louis, 8 runs, 16 hits, 1 error. Gibson will take the win. Santiago will take the loss. Our most valuable player of the game, that award goes to Bob Gibson. 9 innings pitched, allowed 11 hits, but just 2 runs, struck out 7. Cepeda also gets an honorable mention, went 3 for 5, scored a run, an RBI, and a double. So as we mentioned, Game 2 will take place tomorrow here from Busch Stadium. Jim Longborg will pitch for the Red Sox to try to see if they can even the series as they head back to Boston. He'll take on Dick Hughes for the Cardinals. So don't forget to check out Game 2 of the Major League Baseball 1967 World Series. I want to thank all of you for watching today's game. This has been the Replay Sports Channel. I'm Glenn Walker, your host. Thank you for watching the game. Have a great day.